Welcome to the Who I Am podcast with Mandolyn Freeland, Marcely Woofenden, and special guest. We are dedicated to sharing women's stories from all walks of life. We will be diving into experiences, challenges, and triumphs. If you are a woman, then this podcast is for you, and we are so glad that you found us.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We are so excited to be here this week with our special guest, Shannon Johns. Shannon is such a good friend of ours, and I met Shannon, what's it been now? 5 years ago? Almost 5 years?
Probably something like
It's
that.
gotta be
Yeah.
close. Our lives crossed paths, and I've been so grateful for her friendship and her knowledge, and I'm so excited that you guys get a little peek of who Shannon is today. So, Shannon, who is Shannon?
Thanks for having me here, Marcy. I love sharing and being part of everything that you do. So, who am I? Who is Shannon? That is always like a question, right? Who am I? And reflecting in preparation for the podcast, I did like a little deep dive on who I am now, and I feel like I'm 36. I've lived, I feel like, quite a few different lives at this point, and it has just changed and evolved, each one like growing into the next level. So, quick little background. I'm a personal trainer and holistic health coach. I'm all about health and fitness and taking care of our bodies. And I started being a girl that had no self-esteem, had no self-worth, did not know how to take care of myself in any way. I just ran circles around everyone else, trying to help everyone else be their best selves. And I eventually hit my rock bottom, and I got fed up with it. That I could believe is so passionately and give so much for everyone else, but not I had nothing to give for myself. So I went on an empowerment journey, and I found myself through health, through fitness. That's kind of what started me, but helped me realize that we have to have the four body kind of method, that we have our physical body, our spiritual, our mental, and our emotional body. We have four bodies that create our whole being. And I realized that we really have to work on all four in order to become who we want to be, to get through the traumas, to get through the things that are pulling us down, um, because they all impact each other. Working as a personal trainer, I know all of us women are so hard on ourselves, and we want to lose weight, or we want to change our shape in some form. And that can't happen unless we are working on all of us, on our whole selves, our emotional self, our spiritual side, our mental health. That all plays into how our physical body shows up. So, long story short, I am a mom. I'm a holistic health coach and personal trainer, and I am an advocate for everyone to become their own empowered, thriving selves.
I love that. And you said that you hit rock bottom. I am
Yes.
assuming that was kind of part of when you went through a divorce and started kind of shifting at that point. I'm sure that's not something you expected to happen.
No, I never ever expected to get divorced. I got married at 19. No, I wasn't even 19. I was a month from 19. I was super young. And I was in it for eternity. There was no end. That wasn't an option. So 12 years down the road, to have a crumbled marriage and total upheaval in my life, like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to pay my bills. I didn't know how to take care of my son. I was all on my own. Um, that was a huge, huge shift in my trajectory. But it really was like a good like push to keep going on my empowerment journey, which had started a little bit before, but it was like propelled when I suddenly had to like literally pick myself up off the floor and take care of myself and my son. So it was so scary, but honestly, the one of the best things for me to push me to discover myself and to prove to myself that I could, and that like helped build that self-trust. So it was crazy.
Shannon, I've seen you, like just in the few years I've known you, I've seen you go from having a full-time job, taking care of you and your son, to launching your own business. Talk about that a little bit. How was that?
Ah, yeah. So I have had been a personal trainer. I started in 2017 when I discovered that I loved it and gravitated to all of the education, and people were asking me what I was doing. So I had started. But then when I went through my divorce, it was like, oh crap, I have to have something that's I was in survival mode. So I wasn't able to take care of clients like I needed to. So I kind of left the personal training scene for a bit, and I thankfully had some really awesome guys that gave me a job in an insurance office that I managed for a while, and that was really, really helpful. And just helping me get my feet underneath me and be able to work on myself. But then it was actually Marcy. We were sitting on my couch with so many years ago, it seems though, uh, where like she just, I don't know, everything was aligning for me to see my worth and that I could do it, that I could do what I loved, what I was passionate about, that I didn't have to sit in an office and talk to people about things that I really disliked, and that I could trust myself and my abilities to be on my own, that the bills would take care of themselves, that everything would um, happen as it needed to. And that was like a huge leap. That was so scary, but I mean, when we chatted that night, Marcy, like that gave me I don't know, the power to just like, okay, let's do this. Let's take this jump. And it has been a whirlwind of a ride since, but so good. I've never looked back and regretted it.
I do remember the conversation, and I feel like it was just yesterday. Crazy how time
I,
flies. But yeah, you were so,
yeah.
I mean, it's just out of your comfort zone, right? To totally like, hey, I'm going to quit my job and this is what I'm going to do because I love it. And I remember you were so nervous and unsure about it, but I love watching where
Mm-hmm.
you are today and living like the things you love and are killing it. I know it's not easy though, right? Being a single mom and running your own business full time with different, you know, personal trainers like schedule is crazy because people want all different times of the day and morning and stuff. So how are you like what do you do to juggle all the things of single mom and now summer so you don't have
Yes.
school and all of that?
Yeah. So summer just started. We're adjusting. Yeah, it is tricky. I'm grateful that I have a good son that it just powers through with me. He's been my buddy since day one, but it is hard. I will not be, um, it's tricky because I need to be there with my clients and I put them with top high priority, and the hours are weird and I have for in-person training. But I've been able to move my business home. So I have a gym in my house so that I'm more present with my son. He doesn't have to spend hours sitting on a gym floor waiting for mom, which I'm so, so grateful for. And I have clientele that love it here, that we have our own, like, more intimate space. I also have a lot of online clients, so that really helps me balance the hours so that I can be more here when my son is here. Uh, they're not just always stuck on a gym floor. So, but we do like a lot of routines or in lists of things like that my son can do when I'm working, and really trying to prioritize time when I'm with him to be really present. That is something that I've been really working on because it is not something that I have been great at. So I have got some work to do, but we're working
You
on
know what?
it.
I have a good friend, Deanne, who is my massage therapist, and she has her own business and always has had her own business for a long time, and even multiple businesses. And she just told me she has one child. She's a teenager. She's 15 years old, and she told me today that her daughter told her, "Mom, you should have chose either to be a mom or to be a business owner.
Oh,
You're not doing a good job doing both."
Oh, ouch.
And I was just dying. I'm like, oh my gosh, such a
Do
15-year-old
we
thing to
lose Mandy?
say. So I just had to laugh
No,
at
she's
that. But hopefully your son doesn't ever say that to you, but he might. That's a typical 15-year-old attitude.
Oh yeah. I feel like we're already entering the teenagerhood. He's only 10 and I see it already and I'm terrified.
I think you're doing a great job, like trying to juggle it all. I think it is a good reminder for all of us to be present when it's like time to do things right with our family or our kids, um,
Hmm.
making those boundaries of work and family time and prioritizing that. What is like through all of your things? What is something like that you have learned that you think everyone should learn at some point in life?
Hmm. This is a tricky question. Like, because there's so many things. I love knowledge and I love education. And so I learn like I'm a sponge. I want to learn all the things and then I want to dump it all on everyone. But if I were to pick like one lesson that I've learned, it would be that our self-love and self-respect is key to everything. And that is something that we lose. Like we think about little kids, like they're so innocent, they haven't had anything to make them distrust themselves that they think they are awesome because they are. And then we lose that and it we spend the rest of our lives trying to find it. But really finding and cultivating that self-love and self-respect, it's so empowering and it really propels us on to the next thing and the next thing. Um, because everything is connected and it's all connected to our relationship with ourselves. If we love and respect ourselves, then we're going to eat better and take better care of our bodies. We're going to make sure we get sleep. We're going to make sure that we are present in our bodies and with the people around us, having better connections with them because we value ourselves. So it's still a lesson that I'm learning, but it's something that I think we all need to work on and learn for ourselves is that we really can love ourselves. And that really does affect the rest of our lives.
I want to say, Shannon, I think that it's a lot easier for us to believe in someone else than it is ourselves. And so
100%.
you taking that leap to start your own business, like you said, that you realized after that conversation or during that conversation with Marcy, like you can do this. I think that's really, really scary. But that huge leap that you took really set you up to love yourself, right? You saw a little bit of confidence, you gained a little bit of confidence
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning. And I think that probably really helped you. I just think that's incredible
Absolutely.
that you were willing to take that leap. And I think that one move alone probably boosted you quite a bit.
Absolutely. I think I can see like a few things like that in my life that even led up to that moment of being able to be like, okay, Shannon, you can believe in yourself. You can start your own business and work for yourself. Like the one of the first things was natural childbirth with my son. Like I hate needles and I hate the hospital and all those things. And I was absolutely terrified. And thankfully, I was lucky enough that I was able to do a natural childbirth. But that was one of the most scariest things that I ever decided to do. And that, like, the euphoria of like, oh my gosh, I did it. I I gave birth to this beautiful little baby boy. Like, and I did it the way I wanted to do it, even though the doctor was like super upset at the time. That was one of like the first things that was like, look, Shannon, you can do things. You can do hard things that you didn't think you could. So I think it's just been layer by layer different things that have helped like establish that self-trust. And that's really something that I try to get my clients to see is like, okay, every little thing, every little choice that you make that is towards your goal is a win. And those wins like help establish that self-trust and that self-respect again. So it's like really focusing on every little win. So while childbirth and starting my own business those are huge, it's the little things that got me to be able to do the big things.
I love that so much. So I also had one of my children naturally, and it was not intentional. Like mine was
Oh,
like
thank
it just
gosh.
happened really fast, and my biggest fear was that big head coming out. Right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my gosh, that just sounds torturous. There's no way I would ever do that. And then when
Mm-hmm.
it just happened, it was like, holy crap, I can do it. So I
Right?
totally get what you're saying. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
haven't experienced that like the two of you, so I'll leave that to you guys. But
It's not to say that everyone has to.
yeah,
That it was something that I needed to do for me.
I think it's amazing. I think it's great. No, I've seen your strength in many other ways. So, I think you are amazing. And I've seen you say you're still growing in like the self respect, self love, but you're so great at it, and especially to other people. Because I know there's times as soon as I say something, it's like, nope, go write 3 positive things about yourself, or go look in the mirror. So you're so great at that with people, and I love it. I love that I get to experience that from you, and you remind me all the time, constantly,
Mm.
of that self love and self respect. Um, so I know that having the natural childbirth was such a big accomplishment for you and something you wanted to do. What are other accomplishments that you can tell us about?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've already talked about a few, like picking myself up from divorce and being able to do things on my own and starting my business, um, having my baby boy. I'm also a competitive bikini bodybuilder, and that journey has been really impactful because it's so disciplined, um, and something that was so out of my comfort zone. And so to be able to say, like, I've done 20 shows and I've placed in the top five, like nationally, like I'm proud of that. Like,
That's awesome.
so, and I mean, just being able to take control of my life and make it what I want, I think is the biggest thing.
When we've traveled on trips together, I see how disciplined you are. And I always think that that's like so natural for you. So I had no idea that that was something that was uncomfortable for you that you had to get used to. I had no idea.
Absolutely.
You hid that
Absolutely.
well.
Well, kind of like what I was thinking like earlier was like, I've become so many different people, like new identities through these different phases of life. So had you known me however long ago, 15 years ago, like totally different person. Totally different person. Like people that know me from then, they're like, yeah, I never would have expected you to be who you are or to look the way you do, to like any of it is totally different because I was a ballroom dancer growing up. I knew nothing of nutrition. Like if I told you what I ate as a kid, even in my 20s, like you'd be like, who are you? You're lying. So
Because now it's like, what, salad and tuna fish and green beans? I don't know. I look at your plate and I'm like, okay, I have a long ways to go, but you're amazing. Good job.
that's, I mean, it's, I enjoy the lifestyle of bodybuilding, but it's not for everyone. And that's not to say it is the healthiest or that that's what I have my clients do, but I thrive in the environment and the lifestyle of bodybuilding and working on building muscle and then leaning out and seeing like what kind of progress I made in my physique. Like that is exciting to me for now.
You know
But
what I love about you is like dedication can probably be on so many different levels. But like for you, you're in that world, you've totally taken that competitiveness upon you. And like there is nothing else that matters. You're a great mom and stuff, but I mean, like for me, like literally, I just keep thinking about you sitting in a convention next to me, whipping out your tuna fish because it's time to eat. Your dinner bell just went off for your third lunch, and you are like, I'm going to eat this tuna fish,
Oh
and I
my
don't care what
is
people.
she really eating that in here?
Because
oh, I know.
I'm like the type that's like, you know what, not that big of a deal. I'll wait an hour so I don't like, make people like feel weird about it. But I just love that about you. You could care less. It's like all about like you are dedicated. I love you.
Uh, I love you too.
Oh,
I know there's some embarrassing things that I've done, but I mean, but part of it is that through bodybuilding, I've become so in tune with my body and what it needs. So like I am hypoglycemic. I've always been, but I didn't realize it until I got into the kind of the health journey and was like, "Oh, so this is what it means when I'm shaky. I have brain fog, like I can't function, like super hangry. It's because my blood sugar has dropped so quick." So now I don't care if it's like, okay, I can feel it coming on, so I got to eat something. Like what I put and do with my body is super important because that I know that it affects everything else on how I'm functioning. So, and I honestly, I am all for it. If anyone else wants to whip out their tuna packets or whatever it is that they need, like, um, because our bodies are so important. Like, social things shouldn't have deter us from taking care of ourselves.
yes, that's such a good reminder. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. And I know like you said, it's fueling your body properly, right, and now you can feel like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need this, like not necessarily that it's time, but it's like, okay, my body needs this and it needs it right now, and it's probably taking you some years to like really understand and feel that and get to that point. What is something
Mm-hmm.
that you was like a piece of advice you'd give to someone just barely starting out in your shoes?
Oh, don't put my shoes on. No, just kidding. um, no, I like my shoes. I like where I'm at and I like who I am. Which is not something I could have said 15 years ago. But if I were to go back and like talk to myself so long ago, would be to keep moving, move your body, listen to it, feed it well, and to be brave that you can do it. Like, tell yourself you can, even if you don't believe it, because you can. And the little things that you do for yourself now, like moving and feeding your body well, will compound so that you can achieve all of these things that you can't even dream of at the moment.
Amazing. Shannon, before we close this, I know there's women out there that need you right now, whether it's through personal training, it's through mindset coaching, it's whatever it is. Where can they find you?
So I have always on Instagram, even though I don't post consistently. It's at Everyday Fitness with Shannon. I know that's long, but or in my website too, shannonjohns.com. You can message me on either of those platforms. I'm more than happy to chat about what is going on with everyone. I love meeting new people, and working and empowering women is my absolute favorite. It drives me, like, to be able to see them empower themselves and learn and take the tools and just run with it. So we do a lot of mindset coaching, a lot of emotional deep dive into what has gotten us to where we are, what our real deep reasons for our whys are, and then, of course, workouts and how to optimize them and optimize our gut health and metabolism, and nutrition, how to navigate the the parties and the vacations. You don't have to pull out tuna packets like me, but we go through it all, like, because everyone's journey is different. Everyone's bodies are different, and so no one can be treated the same. There's no cookie cutter programs when you're working with me. So reach out, talk to me about what you're dealing with, what you need to get you to the next level of wherever you're at. I'd love to chat with everyone, because it's just so fun to meet and work with women, and men. I work with men too, but women are my go-to.
Yes. You're amazing, Shannon. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your journey and insight with us. We love you and we appreciate you being on with us today.
Oh, thanks for the
you too.
opportunity. Love you both.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. If you feel in your heart to be a part of our community for women, check us out at thebreakthroughtribe.com.